Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over 10 tips and tricks that everyone should know in GTA Online. Now with this list, I tried to keep in mind some more rare tips and tricks that most people probably won't know about, and I hope that there's at least going to be something on this list that you guys will not know about, no matter how much experience you have playing GTA Online. Leave a like if you enjoy or you learned something, consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new, and let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with number 10. Now at number 10, we have bulletproof and tactical helmets, and a lot of people seem shocked when I tell them that these helmets actually give you additional protection from bullets. And it's true. They have the exact same bullet resistance properties no matter which helmet you have, and for pretty much anything other than a sniper, these will take 3 shots to kill from close range, whereas not wearing one will be an instant kill. You can also get the tactical helmets with the thermal goggle attachment or a night vision attachment, which can be activated through the interaction menu by pressing F11 on PC or by pressing on the D-pad on Xbox. The thermal can be particularly useful in a lot of situations against NPCs or players alike, but the night vision isn't very good. So if you're going to get a helmet with goggles, I would make sure to get the thermal helmet because it is just going to be significantly better. For our next tip, if you complete 15 laundering missions at each of the new businesses, namely Smoke on the Water, Higgins Heli Tours, and the Hands-On Car Wash, it will double each business's passive safe income. Each business makes $750 a day into the car wash safe, but this will double to $1,500 a day for each of the businesses if you complete all 15 of these laundering missions at each one. The missions themselves pay $35,000 as well, so you can actually earn a decent amount of money while doing it, and then you'll continue to earn additional passive income forever after. This is something I haven't seen many people talking about, so I thought it'd be a good tip to mention in the video. If you're having trouble completing weekly time trials, keep in mind that you can use HSW vehicles in the non-HSW time trials to gain a significant advantage. Also, something to note is that the regular time trials were created with slower non-HSW vehicles in mind. So technically, non-HSW vehicles should be able to complete them relatively easily. Of course, it won't be easy in every single time trial though. Something I would recommend to use on the time trials though is motorcycles. Both non-HSW or HSW motorcycles are great. The $15,000 Bati 801 is an absolute weapon when it comes to completing non-HSW time trials, largely due to its excellent maneuverability and the fact that it tops out at 135 miles per hour if you're wheeling. The HSW Hakuchu Drag is also absolutely epic to use if you have HSW on the platform that you play GTA Online with. People often underrate how useful doing the weekly HSW time trials are, but if you can manage to do it, you can make up to $18 million a year off of just doing the weekly HSW time trial, which is not bad considering it'll probably only take about 2 to 4 hours of your time over the course of an entire year. So the ROI there is crazy good. At number 7, we have a pretty cool tip about the hangar. Now for those of you that have a hangar, or even if you don't yet, you can use this eventually whenever you get one. If you call Pegasus and request a vehicle that you own, like the Savage for example, you can actually take it to whatever hangar you own and fly it up to the door and take it inside. Doing this will allow you to change the color on any Pegasus vehicle, which most people don't even know is a possibility in the first place. However, doing this will also allow you to request the vehicle through the interaction menu. The same way you would go and request an F-160 Raju, an Akula, whatever, you can do that with Pegasus vehicles as personal aircraft, which is really cool. Typically, requesting aircraft this way will get you a much better spawn for whatever aircraft you'd be requesting from Pegasus, plus you can also flex on people that don't know about this entire thing with specially colored aircraft that most people don't have. Another cool thing about this is that you can technically have 2 Savages, 2 Hydras, 2 Lasers, or whatever Pegasus aircraft you own out at the same time. This is especially useful if you have friends you play with, because you can both use the same aircraft while only one person actually has to buy it in the first place. If you own the Smoke on the Water dispensary in GTA Online and you need to clear the heat, there's a way to do it that is much faster than you typically would if you did what Rockstar wanted you to do. But try and keep this quiet so they don't patch it out of the game. If you launch the weed delivery mission, simply get in the van and drive to the nearest drop-off to you. Deliver the corresponding weed type to the customer, run back to the van and either blow it up or drive it to the nearest body of water and drown the vehicle if you want to save yourself an explosive. Once the van dies, the mission will quote-unquote fail, But if you go back and check at smoke on the water, your heat level will have gone down to 0 and you won't have to go to the other 4 drop-off points, which can save you up to about 10 minutes, I would say. If only there was a way to do something like this with Higgins Heli Tours. And number 5, this one has become a little bit more common knowledge in recent memory, but we have the Oppressor Mark II and using the handbrake. Now this is widely considered to be the absolute best vehicle for grinding and getting around quickly in GTA Online, and a lot of people will know about this like I said, but shockingly many still don't. If you hold the handbrake while flying the Oppressor Mark II, you'll gain about 20 miles per hour worth of airspeed, which will allow you to get around significantly faster using this vehicle. Something to note is that doing this will cause you to lose a bit of altitude over time, so it's a good idea to ascend higher than you think you'll need to if you're covering a long distance, and just maintaining yourself being up in the air. This is a super underrated tip, and it's something that my friends and I have recently discovered, and that is that selling in a closed friend session or a closed crew session still allows you to get a high demand bonus when selling. So if you have a group of friends that you play with, you can do this and get a bonus on any sale missions that you complete in that session. For each player that's in there, even if they're on your friends list, you'll get a 2.5% bonus on whatever the total is for your sale. So if you have 5 friends, that is 12.5%. Occasionally, my friends and I do sessions with our viewers, and sometimes we do sales in these sessions, and if there are 20 players, you can get up to a 50% sale bonus on any sale mission that you complete, which allows you to make significantly more money, obviously, but without the risk of getting attacked by random players when you do it in a public session. So I'd recommend getting some friends together and doing this, and if you do it successfully, you can make up to 50% more money. And in case you're wondering, this has been around since they allowed sales in closed sessions, so pretty cool. Our next tip is to do with traveling around the map, and there are a couple of ways to get across the map exceptionally fast compared to traditional methods like driving. For example, with the agency or casino, there's an SUV or limo service available that can get you across the map in a mere matter of seconds. So if you need to get to Paleto Bay from Los Santos quickly for some reason, you can use this to travel up there fast. You can also use the Kasatka to do this, as it has a fast travel feature as well. And if you've completed the Cayo Perico heist, the cost will only be $2,000 to do this. Notably though, the SUV service is free, so if you do care, that is technically the cheaper option. Plus, you won't have to go all the way out to sea to get to your Kasatka to do this in the first place. Another tip is that if you're ever doing a business sale mission and you need to get up to Paleto Bay or get down to Los Santos from Paleto Bay, taking the train tracks is by far the fastest route. My friends and I discovered this when we play Manhunt, which is a series that we do on our channels, and the only thing you'll really need to watch out for here is the train, and depending on the size of the vehicle that you're driving, traveling through 2 tunnels and the canyon train bridge can be a little bit treacherous, but just be careful and watch out for the train before you get out on the bridge especially. Luckily, if you're traveling north, this won't really be an issue because the train will always be behind you, so that's good. Something else to note is that if you're flying across the map in a jet or a helicopter, the higher up you go in the sky, the faster your aircraft will be. This is actually quite realistic as the air is thinner the further up you go, meaning less resistance for your aircraft to push through, allowing it to travel faster. So, some pretty good movement tips there. Next up, if you ever find yourself wanting to do taxi work in GTA Online, there are actually a handful of cars that you can use for it that can be customized and that are significantly faster than the regular taxi cab. And using these will allow you to complete fares much faster, allowing you to get to the maximum bonus faster, and therefore making you more money in less time. Now, they will take a bit of an investment on your part. There is the Willard Eudora or the Classique Broadway that have unlockable taxi liveries. There's also the new Annis Hardy with the taxi livery applied to it that can also be used, and you don't need to do anything special to unlock that livery. Technically, there's also the Ubermacht Cypher, but it must have drift tuning applied to it, therefore making it not exactly super viable for doing taxi work in the first place. Out of the 3 possible custom taxis that are good, the Annis Hardy is easily the best. For an honorable mention, we have when you're going upstairs, if you enter first person mode, you will move about 50% faster. It'll also allow you to change directions faster if the stairs have multiple landings, like in a multi-story parking garage, for example. First person can also be exceptionally useful when using a sniper to strafe back and forth much faster than you could in third person. Another one that people seem to have overlooked is that snacks are available to be eaten when you have the weapon wheel pulled up, as opposed to going into the interaction menu like before. This makes them much more viable and worth using to get yourself additional health. Another cool feature is that armor can also be applied the same way through the same menu. My number one tip for you is something that I absolutely love, and I'm so glad that I figured it out, and that is hold to sprint. Under gamepad options, whether you're on PC or console, everybody should activate the setting, because whether you're on keyboard and mouse or controller, you will be able to full sprint inside of buildings, allowing you to travel interiors that would otherwise be locked to a slow jog, and you can full sprint, which is awesome. Now, if you're on keyboard and mouse, you'll need to hold W and either A or D at the same time to be able to run faster. It's fairly simple to do this though, and you'll thank yourself later for doing it, because it will save you so much time in interiors, especially in somewhere like these CEO cargo warehouses, for example, where you have to run across them sometimes to get to the technicians. So anyway guys, there you have it. Those are my picks for 10 tips and tricks that everybody should know in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike, of course, and consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.